named DJ7 while in Lansing, who went to East Lansing High School, went to Everett, and he produced. He was the best producer in the city. So we got together, me, him, a couple of singers, a couple of rappers within the city, and made an album called The Seventh Wonder, and started shopping it around the city, you know, getting our names known even more, you know. So I graduate high school, and I get accepted into Michigan State University. Now, mind you, my freshman year, I didn't have a major, but I knew what I was into. I knew what I was into as far as where I came from and where I was headed. I'm like, okay, I don't have a major, but I am into communicating. I am into speaking. I am into hip-hop. I am into fashion. I am into the arts, which all are forms of communications. So, at the end of my freshman year, I went to the office and talked to the woman who grants you the major that you have. And she said, what do you like? I was like, well, you know, I like to be into music, you know. I like writing scripts, you know. And she was like, well, you should think of communications. And she told me what it had to do with, you know. And I'm like, okay. So here I am, sophomore year, a communications major, and I'm starting to love it because it has to do with each and everything that I'm into, all right? And then I started getting my name known throughout campus, doing music, doing performances, and I met this film guy named Robbie Ortega, and we made a documentary that had to do with what I was into, called Alias. That's what my artist name was before it changed into Niles. So what I'm gonna show you right now is the first part of that documentary, all right?
All right.
Can we get the lights?
Yep.
And so after that, is that clapping or tapping on your arm? Okay. Yeah, so I did that my sophomore year, and we passed those out, and then that made me think, wow, I want to get into cinematography, you know? I want to be behind the camera as much as in front of the camera, because that right there was a collaboration between me and Robbie. He was into filmography, but at the same time, I had to take and I had a part in exactly which scenes was going to be in editing, you see? And so that gave me those ideas to even expand my communication process even that much further. So I graduated from college, and I ended up moving to New York City, right? So here I am in New York with all these dreams and endeavors that I want to conquer. The main one was music, being a hip-hop artist. But on top of that, I wanted to work within film, all right? And I had a cousin named Yolanda who introduced me to one of the executive directors at BET. And so when I met him, he was telling me, yeah, you know, you have some good ideas, but you need some experience. Now, mind you, I didn't do any internships in college. And that's something that I should have done. I would have been that much more ahead. So for all of you here, make sure that you tap into the internships at your college and do them, because that'll make you that much more prepared for the time when you leave. You'll step right into your dream job, okay? But throughout the whole time, I had God with me. I prayed every night, and I made sure that I lived right so I could see this dream manifest in front of my eyes. And for the next 3 years, I was blessed to do so many things beyond my imagination within that short period of time, all having to do with communications, all having to do with the arts. So after like 6 months of working at this independent film company called Nick Davis Productions as a transcriber, I started working at CBS as a broadcast associate. Now mind you, at the same time, I'm out performing at all of these different spots all throughout New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Harlem, everywhere. So on one side, I'm transcribing from like 8 a.m. to like 4 p.m. and then right after that, I'm getting ready to perform at night. So I was up around the clock. From one aspect, I was doing film, branding myself within that, and the other aspect, I was branding myself within music, okay? So I started working as a broadcast associate at CBS. A broadcast associate, you basically assist the executive director in everything they need for a show. So I'll be transcribing. I keep vaults of different DVDs, of interviews that they did with different people. The show was called Discovery 9/11, where we basically had to find out what really happened behind the scenes of 9/11, okay? So while I'm working there, BET is upstairs in the same building. So the same guy that was like, you need more experience, he saw me come up. It was this place called Hip Hop Culture Center in Harlem. And the dude that owned the place, he wanted me and a collective of 4 other MCs to be on the BET commercial rapping about Barack Obama. This was in 2008 during his campaign. He wanted me and like 4 other MCs to perform in this commercial. So I go up to BET during my lunch break working at CBS. And when I go up there, I see the same guy that told me I needed experience. And here I am with the CBS ID necklace. And he's like, huh? What? He's like, wow, what's up, man? And I'm like, I'm actually up here to do a BET commercial to rap about Obama. He didn't know I rapped, you know? So things were starting to formulate as far as me and the arts is concerned. So this next clip I'm gonna show you is a commercial that I did on BET rapping about Obama. Here we go. Wow. You saw it too? Word, no doubt. That actually makes me feel very good that you guys saw that. So after that commercial was done, I talked to the executive director at BET, and he said, when you're done with working at CBS, come up and talk to me, and we can see about you working here. Now mind you, I'm still out there performing at different events. I want to talent search the Hot 97 through with Koch Records to release a single on Koch. I was performing at the Apollo. I opened up for Wu-Tang, opened up for Talib Kweli. A lot of different endeavors were going on around that time, okay? But on the flip side, I'm working at BET now as a transcriber / production assistant. Did a little PA work on 106 & Park and transcribed for a lot of different BET news shows, okay? So I'm in different lanes of communication and arts on the highest level at the same time. And then I got an offer to do camera assistant work at New York City Fashion Week. So now I'm in the fashion world. And fashion's something I'm into too. You know, I like to speak without speaking. In other words, have my own style speak for me before I even speak. You know, everybody has their own style. But even dressing is a form of communication. You see, when somebody steps into a place, it's like, okay, this person has this style, this person has that style, this person has that style, you know? Somebody can wear loud colors, you know? Somebody can wear earth tones, you see? And it can kind of pinpoint what their personality is to an extent. And then when you meet them, it can either go higher or lower as far as what you think about them, you know? So, did you have a question?
Oh, I was wondering what exactly transcribe means.
Transcribing means that you're typing out the dialogue or whatever is said. So every show that you see, whether it's an interview or a show, it has to be transcribed. It has to be typed out. So they send us different DVDs. Excuse me. I need your attention. This is to help you. You too. With the hat on with the black shirt. Thank you. Okay? What they would do is they send us DVDs of different interviews. Have you ever seen interviews on BET where it's like Stephen A. Smith interviewing Jay-Z? I transcribed for that show. And there was a couple of BET news shows that I transcribed for. But they send us the DVDs, we pop them into the computer, and we'd have this template format where it would be like different 30-second increments. It takes forever. To transcribe 30 minutes takes like 8 hours, depending on how fast you type. I was typing like, 90 words per minute, like average, But so you play it, listen what they say, stop it, type what they said. Play it, listen, stop, type. So, and then after you're done with that, you send the jump drive to the editing people, And they edit out exactly what they want. And you can have a say-so too in exactly what they're gonna have, since you're the one that stayed up all night seeing the whole thing before it was edited down and put out there, you see? So that's what transcribing is right there. And when you press mute on the TV and the caption comes up, that caption comes from where the transcribing was done at. They have to insert those words along with every scene. So that's basically what it's for. Okay? What's up?
How long actually was that interview?
How long was which interview? Actually, on the show, oh, you mean outside, when it was in raw form?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was like 2.5 hours. And like, you're seeing the whole DVD, you're seeing when he's getting interviewed, then when they say cut, Jay-Z's just chilling on his two-way phone, and you're seeing everything, But you have to type out each and everything that's being said throughout that whole process, What's up?
So when you're like editing, like you're like censoring like the cuss words and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you put in that, you put in either bleep or, you know, you can put in your own word, but either bleep or what word did you put in there? Gosh. It was just one word that we had to use. I forgot. But yeah, you had to do that. Yeah. So, to make a long story short, on one side, I'm working in the film world, behind the camera, doing transcribing. And then on another side, I'm performing at these venues, getting my name known, working on my project. And then I got accepted to work at New York City Fashion Week, basically with the paparazzi, camera assistant setting up the tripod for the person with the camera to come in, put it on the tripod, and as they walk down the runway, everybody is right there in front of the runway taking pictures and everything, you know? So I'm like here, there, everywhere, basically making myself, utilizing myself in every aspect of communication as far as who I am, all right? Then I started working on a project called When the Clock Strikes 12, which is my upcoming project. It's done, but I had to put it on hold when I moved up here, all right? But what I did was a one-man show on Broadway, a one-man multimedia show on Broadway, to basically depict the outline story, because it's a project, it's an album, but it's an outline story to it too. So part of it was acting on stage, another part of it was on the projector behind me. We do different acting skits outside of the stage at different scenes. And then part of it would be on stage too, acting right in front of the people. But they both simultaneously went together, and I performed in between acting skits. So this last thing that you're gonna see is a skit from the Now's on Broadway, When the Clock Strikes 12, a hip-hop theater event that I threw, and I wrote the script for it. And so I'm in a zone now in New York City, just circulating through music, acting, and film. Then the last ingredient that was added was there was this guy that was the founder of this curriculum called the Hip Hop Project, and I saw a movie that was executive produced by Bruce Willis and Queen Latifah, and it basically was a documentary about his curriculum, how he brought in inner city youth from Brooklyn, New York, and turned them into artists, turned them into actors and actresses, transformed their lives for the better. And I was like, you know what? I got a feeling I'm gonna meet this guy one day, because this has something to do with what I wanted to do. I wanted to be within education. I'm fresh out of college, and these kids come from the same humble beginnings that I come from. So what I want to do is get into their lives and expand their minds further than what they think that they're limited to. And I come from the same type of background that they come from, so they'll be able to feel me and believe me when I tell them what they shouldn't do. So I performed at Summer Jam. Anybody heard of Summer Jam before? Yeah. Oh, for real? Oh no, I'm talking about the one in New York City. The Hot 97 throws. You heard of that, right? Yeah. So I ended up performing there from when I won the talent search, the Hot 97 threw with Koch, right? So after I performed, I met Kazi, who was the person that was the founder of this curriculum. And he was like, wow, man, like I really like that performance that you did. And I'm like, bro, I saw your movie. I was very inspired by that. So he was like, you know what? We should link, you know? And so I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, I'd love to teach kids how to perform. I mean, I'm into performing, I'm into acting, I'm into all that stuff. So he was like, all right. So what he did was he brought me to John Jay College, which is a college in Manhattan, right? And he brought in a group of 20 kids. And what we did was we molded them into artists. They'd never done anything artistic before. But we expanded their mind, we expanded their imagination, and expanded their creativity. Taught them how to songwrite, taught them how to act, and we went into a studio so they could record the songs that we made. And then at the end, it was this place called the New Eureka Poets Cafe in Manhattan, where they performed the songs and performed the skits that they acted out. And we made an album out of the songs that they made and passed them out there. So here I am in all these different lanes and avenues. Every single lane and avenue that I pictured myself in, I was embodying while I was out there. This is a kid that came straight from the gutter, straight from the hood, straight from poverty, straight from that. And here I am in New York City with a degree, pursuing each and everything that I put my mind to. But God gets all the glory for all of that, because without him, it would have never been possible. I didn't drink one sip of wine, any type of alcohol while in college. Didn't smoke one blunt, one cigarette, nothing while in college. And I stayed focused the whole time. So I know if I did it, each and every one of you out there can do it. And I moved here to pursue all those different endeavors all in one. I'm starting a curriculum called Hip Hop, History, and the Arts. And it basically is each and everything that embodies me in one curriculum. I'm a hip hop artist, I'm a history buff, and I'm into the arts. There's songwriting workshops, poetry writing workshops, stage performance workshops, acting workshops, and drawing workshops. And there's gonna be scripts that are written, and there's gonna be shows that are performed as far as drama goes, as far as music goes. Albums are gonna be made. It's just gonna be a kaleidoscope of art. But everything that I told you is everything that's embodied within that curriculum. Everything that's within me as far as communications goes is gonna be set out forth with that, okay? That's where I'm at right now with my life. And I know that each and every one of you out there can pursue any type of endeavors that you put your mind to. Do not limit yourself. You have to be multi-dimensional. How many of you are multi-dimensional again? Raise your hand if you feel that way, okay? You have to practice with that like a man with his hair on fire is looking for a river. Go after it. Go after it. The world is yours. You have it in the palm of your hands. Stay business-minded. When you make it to college, get the highest grades that you can get. Do as many internships as possible, especially if they have to do with your credits, because you're going to get credits along with getting paid for it. And by the time that you graduate, you will step right into your dream job. You'll step right into the situation that you've always dreamed about doing, okay? My name is Chadwick. Thank you for your time.